Hey, everybody.
Hi. So if you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. My name's Morgan, and I am a sixth grade math and science teacher, and I also love all things Disney. And this is going to be a new series on my channel called Fantasy Disney Football, where we talk about all things that are the NFL games and football related. And then we're also going to talk about the recent Disney news and merch and things like that. So even if you're not a football fan, stick around because there's going to be some Disney coming to you guys. And today I have a special guest, our Paradise Falls. Jeff, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, everyone. I'm Jeff from Our Paradise Falls. I have Connor with me. I didn't realize he was going to be on the live stream tonight, but I mean, he's just making a special guest appearance. You know, Connor's the star of our channel. We vlog all things Disney. We vlog our Disney adventures to the parks. We vlog our aquarium trips, our zoo trips, pretty much everything in the state of Florida that we go and visit, beaches, everywhere. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just our family adventures around Florida.
Awesome. We also have one more person joining us soon. It's going to be Ajana Claire from Being Ajana Claire. She is running a little late. She had to go drop Zoelle off somewhere. So she'll be joining us later on. But we just have some huge things to get to. So like I said, this is going to be a weekly series on my channel. It's going to be every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Walt Disney World time. So if you want to set your alarms for that now, or just hit that subscribe button down below and hit the bell. That way you're notified every single time I go live or I post a new video. So Jeff, why don't we introduce what teams we like the most?
Okay, so I'm originally from New York, and I was raised Giants, Rangers, and Yankees. I know that's always different. That always varies from different people I meet from New York, but that's how my dad raised me. So I'm a lifelong diehard Giants fan. I am not wearing any Giants gear tonight. I see Morgan is wearing her Philadelphia stuff. I'm not very happy with where the Giants are at this season. We're 1-5. We're absolutely terrible. We've been there's a stat that they just mentioned the other day. Since 2017, we are 9-26 at home. So the Giants organization right now is in complete chaos. It's a huge dumpster fire. So, but yeah, besides the Giants, I'm also a Hurricanes fan. And this season, they're also having a dumpster fire season as well. So it's not a great year for sports. But I also like hockey, and the Florida Panthers are 2-0. They're actually playing right now against Tampa Bay Lightning. Not sure what the score of that game is, but yeah, at least the Panthers. There's one
0-0.
Okay, so it was 0-0. So at least one of our, my teams is doing okay this season. But hockey just started, so it's a long season.
Yeah. So I'm from New Jersey. If you guys didn't originally know or didn't know, I'm originally from there. So I am and for whatever reason, people think that people from New Jersey are like every other team except the team I cheer for. I always get that. I always get like, oh, you're a Giants fan? No. Oh, you're a I don't even know, a Ravens fan? No. But I am a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Steelers. I get Steelers a lot too. But I am a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Philadelphia is the closest city to me. So I'm an Eagles fan. I am a die-hard Eagles fan. If you ask any of my friends, they'll tell you. And so I root and cheer for the Eagles no matter how bad they are doing. And no matter the dumb decisions that they make, including one that we will talk about later today. Actually, since Ajana Claire's not on, do you want to talk about like football news first? Like the recent football news?
Can I see my football teams?
Yeah, of course, Connor.
Do you have different football teams than me?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is interesting. So what's your football teams?
I like the Dolphins, I like Tampa, and I like Giants, and I like Hurricanes.
Oh.
But if you were to pick the Giants, the Dolphins,
and I like Ravens.
Don't tell mommy that. If you were to pick the Giants, the Ravens, the Dolphins, or the Buccaneers. Out of those 4 teams, who's your number 1? All right, this isn't Final Jeopardy. Let's go. If you're gonna pick a team, 1, 2, 3, go.
Ravens.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Hi, Me Like Adventures, or I'm not sure if I'm saying that, but hi. Thanks for jumping in. So let's talk about the recent football news. I don't know about you, but I am so mad at what the Eagles did. Obviously, you probably don't really care. But there was a major trade announced like halfway through the week of Zach Ertz going to the Cardinals, which regardless of how you feel about the Eagles, you got to admit, Zach Ertz is a pretty good player.
So imagine going to bed. What are the Eagles now? I think 2-3 or something like that. So imagine going to bed at 2-3 and then waking up at 6-0. He's having the best time of his life.
I know, but he was very upset because it was announced like right after the game, or I think during the Eagles game that would be his last game, and I think he kind of knew it because he was.
But what did you guys get for him?
So dumb. So anyway, they traded Zach Ertz was recently just traded to the Cardinals, if you don't know. And the Cardinals currently are the only undefeated team in the NFL. So why would you give a Pro Bowler away to the only undefeated team in the NFL? I have no idea. And what we got for him was some cornerback that has not played a game yet, and the 5th round draft pick in the 2022 draft. That's all we got. I was like, that's all, and you're giving away our only shot at being in the playoff or Super Bowl contention.
But here's the thing, though: Zach Ertz has been he's been around for a while, so it's not like he's like some young tight end. I mean, he's been in the league a couple of years, so maybe I could see that why. But I mean, was he really being utilized on the team at all? It just.
Yeah, and that was like their philosophy for trading him, was that they went from 33% of the plays that they called were like utilizing a tight end, especially Zach Ertz, and they dropped from 33% to like I think 21% or something now. But still, like he was a good one of the best players on our team currently. No offense to Jalen Hurts, but like our team is like a bunch of brand new people, and it's not working very well. And he was the one that got the most touchdown. He was almost gonna break the record, the team record for most touchdowns and most rushing yards by a tight end. And like I don't know why you would get. I'm so lost. I'm so like confused by this decision mid-season.
I knew of the trade. I didn't know what Philly got for him. So the 5th round pick, I mean, it really just depends on how your drafting goes. I mean, sometimes, I always say, you can always try to find that Brady-esque type player. Brady was drafted in the 7th round. You could try to find a good player. So maybe they're, I think honestly for them this year, for Philly, there's really no team in the NFC East that's competing with Dallas right now. So maybe they're just trying to see if they can get some moving pieces, some moving parts to see what kind of team they have. Because honestly, I don't even know, from what I've seen so far from Jalen Hurts, is he your answer? Like, I understand the Eagles had their thing with Carson Wentz, and he's doing okay in Indianapolis, but I mean, he was very injury prone. He had that great season for you guys where he almost won the MVP. And then ever since he's had his injuries, he just hasn't been the same player. But I don't know if Jalen Hurts is even your answer. Like, I don't know if he's like that. Because from what I've seen from him, he's
doing well for like this being his first actual season that he's competing the whole entire time. Because last season he was barely used.
Right.
He was used like the last 2 games.
Right.
So I consider this like his first actual season, but I don't know. But I don't think they should do what they did to Carson Wentz, where they just draft another quarterback and move him to second string. But the whole trade thing just confuses me, and I was just like, why? And I understand why and my whole thing is, if you're a team and clearly you think you're not going to make the playoffs, then fine, I guess it doesn't matter. But if you are even have hopes of making the playoffs, which is still very early, like any team could make the playoffs at this point. It would be kind of like even the Lions could make the playoffs if they did spectacular the rest of the games. But if you're not, like, if you were hoping to make the playoffs, you would not trade someone like Zach Ertz to the only undefeated team, and they were down all of their tight ends. They had no tight ends.
But you have to see from like a business standpoint. So when the Giants got rid of Odell Beckham Jr., I thought it was like the biggest mistake ever in like the history of football to give away. Like, Odell Beckham is a generational talent. And since he's been on Cleveland, he hasn't done anything. So maybe, Zach Ertz going to Arizona may look like on paper something like not great, but maybe that's what Arizona really needed, is like a solid tight end. But and time will only tell how. Yeah, Arizona's 6-0 right now, but let's see how they get into the play, like how they do when they get into the playoffs.
They did need a tight end because their tight end went out. Their first string tight end went out on a season-ending knee injury, so he was out. And then they only had a backup who had only played like a handful of games and had just been out on COVID for the past 2 weeks. Gotcha. So he was back for this this game that they played. But now they have another, I think someone else went out on the team now. So they're kind of scrambling. So I think they made the trade because they were scrambling and they needed to get it done. Gotcha. They needed someone to replace their first string that was reliable, and they looked to Zach Ertz.
Honestly, right now, I mean, even with Philly, like with Philly, Washington, and New York, nobody in the East right now is going to compete with Dallas. It's just not happening. Dallas has a great, I don't know why I'm saying this, but Dallas has a great team this year. They have a much better defense than they've had the past 2 seasons. So I don't even think somebody from the East is even going to get a wild card spot. So I think Dallas is easily going to go into the East. They'll be the division champs. And there's not going to be Washington, Philly, or New York are not even going to make like that second tier wild card spot. I just don't like the 7th or 8th seed. It's not going to happen. So like, I think honestly, out of all 3 teams, it's just kind of rebuilding, I guess. And with the Giants, it's not even a rebuild because we went and got players to compete with Dallas, to compete for a playoff spot. And we're just, it's like I said, it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah. And this will be the second year in a row that I don't even know if it's the second year. It might be the third or I don't know. I feel like the NFC East never gets a playoff card. Like, no one ever plays well enough to really be in actual consideration for the playoffs in general. And if it weren't for like the division sucking so bad, that they really wouldn't even be in the playoffs. And they're only in there because they won their division.
Dallas is doing this year what they should have did last year. But last year, freaking Washington won it on a losing record. Like, for whatever reason, Dallas plays great until December. When December hits, for whatever reason, it's like this like monkey off their back that they can't get rid of. They just fall flat on their faces every December.
It's cold in all the places they have to go to.
But I looked at their record the other night when I was watching the New England game with them, and I'm like, they have an easy schedule. It's so easy. I think they have the Saints, they have the Cardinals, but the Cardinals is week 16 or week 17 because there's 18 weeks. And that's like their only biggest test. I mean, obviously they have Philadelphia again. They'll have us again. They'll have Washington twice. But I'm sorry. There's not a team in the East that's going to, unless Dallas loses some players or they have like a fluke game. But I just don't see anybody competing with them in our division at all.
Yeah. And while we're on the Cardinals played the Browns this week. And the Browns, talk about a team riddled with injuries. Like the Browns have, I think now 5 players out on injury, like 5 first-string players, and one of them being their quarterback.
Reed Pray Disney is in the comments. We dem boys. I'm like, I had to roll my eyes for that. I'm like, oh no, get out of here with that nonsense. We don't need that in here. No.
Hi,
No.
Christina.
We dem boys. Oh God, no.
Look who we have.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi, Ajana Claire. We were just talking about some of our favorite teams and some recent news that's come up in the NFL. I wanted to save the Disney news for when you were here.
Good, because I don't know anything about football news.
And I don't know anything about Disney
I am wearing
news.
a football jersey, though. I am wearing a football jersey.
Ooh! So what team do
But
you...
my Disney ears and my football jersey. I think that's right.
Yes. So what team do you root for, Ajana Claire?
So before he stopped playing pre-COVID, I was a huge Cardinals fan solely because Larry Fitzgerald was like my boo. So basically, I was more of a Larry Fitzgerald fan because if he went to Dallas, I'd be a Dallas fan. If he went to Toronto, I'd be a Toronto fan. If he went to Miami, I'd be a Dolphins fan. Where he goes, I go. Like Mantel and Grogu.
Fitzgerald is
who are
amazing. He
you
was
a
one of
fan
my
of
favorite
now?
receivers. Just too bad he had to play for Pitt, though.
So now I really don't have a team. I'm kind of lost. And when I lived in North Carolina, I was a big Panthers fan, but that's because I was living in Charlotte. And now I'm in South Carolina. We don't have a team, so.
Well, you might as well
Panthers
stick
is
with
the
the
closest.
Cardinals because they're doing amazing.
No, yeah, no, they're great. So like, I'm just not that big of a football fan. Like, I really was like a huge that's what my jersey is. Like, I really was a huge Larry Fitzgerald fan. So.
Awesome.
But I love watching football. I just don't like follow it and know the players. But I can enjoy a good game, and I'm very loud.
That's how I am. That's how I got really into it, and now I just kind of follow like news here and there. I don't like follow I wouldn't know all of the news, but I would know like the major highlights and the things that affect the Eagles, obviously, because that's my team. And that's kind of what we were talking about, how the Eagles just traded the Cardinals, Zach Ertz, in the middle of the week.
That's what I hear. It's like, wah, 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 wah.
But Ajana Claire, while you're here, why don't you tell everyone about yourself and about your channel?
So I'm Ajana Claire. My channel is Being Ajana Claire. And when you made me big, you showed all of the things I was trying to crop out of the screen.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's the social media life, right? Like, you only see what's in the screen, and then all of the rest is like noise. So my channel, I do like a lot of cocktail content. I do Disney content. I do unboxings. I have some travel vlogs coming up. I do a ton of Loungefly content. I do small shops. I do, if it's Disney and it's merch, I do it. And then
That's
over on
kinda like
Joelle's
me.
World, so I have a second channel I do with my daughter, and that's more like family oriented. So that's where I do all of like the mommy daughter stuff.
Go check both of her channels out and Jeff's channel out. It's all linked down below in the description for you guys to click away on, whatever you would like. Hi, Connor. But let's go ahead and talk about some Disney news. So we talked about some recent football news. Let's go ahead and talk about some Disney news, specifically the thing that has been the talk of most Disney YouTube channels, most Disney media, and things that released today, which is Genie Plus. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, I'm a little bummed about not having Fast Pass back because of the way that Fast Pass worked. But I feel like when anything is new, it's hard to make that immediate transition and adjustment. So it's like, I love Fast Pass. I want it back. I can't give, Genie Plus is like stupid. I'm not going to, do it. And then probably once I get to the park in a couple of weeks and I use it, then I'll be like, whoa, this is like amazing, right? Like, so it's kind of hard to make that decision or make a judgment about it until you get to experience it because you're so used to like the old system. But I did update my app. So if you do have the Disney Plus app, you do have to update it, to access all of the new features. So
dang it, I'm gonna have to delete stuff off my phone then.
But it's pretty because when you do update it, the new icon is like the 50th anniversary icon, not just the old Walt Disney World sign. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Jeff, what do you think? I see you also have Brittany there. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Brittany.
I know the Genie thing was coming out. We really haven't looked at it. I think because we were up at Disney last week and it started today or yesterday?
Today.
So I'm like, oh man, we're just a few days away from not being able to like go and experience it. I honestly just wish they made a pass or they made like a tier on like annual pass where like Universal, if you pay a certain price that you can have unlimited fast passes. That's the fast pass system I want. I know it would be crazy money, but I would pay for that just because I hate waiting in lines. And as Connor's getting older, he hates waiting in lines too. So I wish that Disney would do something like that. So with Genie, you can only do one fast pass like per ride.
Yeah. So you get one fast pass and it's kind of like a boarding group system from what I've heard that like they just call you and you have to go. I'm not really sure. And then
no, I think it's like a return time like with fast pass. But it's like it's like basically you're booking one fast pass at a time.
Yeah.
So like you book it, you use it, and then like the old fast pass, as soon as you check in, not when you're done with the ride, as soon as you swipe into the new ride you can book another one.
But you can't cancel it and you can't change it. Like once you booked it, you gotta go there. Otherwise you're losing your money.
So is it $15 per ride or is it $15 just
per person? So it's $15 per person per day. But I think, and don't quote me on this, I feel like I heard this. You either have to book it for everybody in your party or book it for every day of your trip. One of those things that you have to do, and guys, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I felt like I heard somebody say like one of the kind of downsides is you have to either it's something big that you have to do. You either have to book it for everybody that's on your reservation or for the whole time period that you're there.
Yeah. So
like
I don't know if you guys saw
one day
today.
at a time.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if you guys saw today, but there was apparently like major flaws with it. Of course, because it's the first day, where things were like ROT Rise, Toy Story, Slinky Dogs Dash, and Seven Dwarves all sold out today, first day.
Yep.
And then, of course, everyone knew that was going to happen.
Who's spending money on Seven Dwarfs though? I mean, $15 on that. I mean, seriously, you haven't been on Seven Dwarfs yet. I mean, Rise, I can understand.
But to not stand in line, like,
but a lot of people haven't. Though. I mean, we take for granted that we go to the parks like really, really often, but there's still a lot of people coming to the parks who this is like their dream trip. It's their first time coming. It's their first time there. Or then you just have the crazy people who just maybe love Mine Train.
Right. But I mean, if you really time it well, if you get there right at road drop, especially now that Disney's doing their extra magic hours again, it's only a half hour. But if you time it right, if you get there right at road drop, you can wait 20-ish minutes for a Mine Train. Or if you wait very late at night, and I didn't realize this. So Magic Kingdom, the night that we went Wednesday night last week, they were actually open to 11 if you were staying at if you were staying at Contemporary, Poly, or the Grand. They were open to 11. From 9 to
Shut
11.
the front door. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's
Is that
for
like a
deluxe
new thing?
resorts only.
Is it like a new thing like all the time, or is it like only some of the time?
I don't know if it's all the time.
Is it every day? I thought it was only certain days of the week.
No, I think it's every day, because we were there on a Wednesday, and they're like, and the one lady's like, she's like, oh yeah, we're staying at, I think where was she staying? I don't remember what hotel. She's like, oh yeah, Magic Kingdom's open tonight for us till 11. I'm like, really?
But it can't be open for them on like days that they have like Boo Bash and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
no, it will be open on like party days.
So it is only certain days then. But yeah, it was. I heard so those rides sold out. Then there was a huge issue with Mine Train where they didn't have like a place for them to go. Apparently, like people were getting confused between where the Dash Pass line was, where the regular line was, where the Genie Plus line was. Like they weren't like ready. And then I also heard that if you get Genie Plus for Rise, they skip you through both of the pre-shows.
Oh, so you just go to the transport vehicle?
So you just go straight to the transport vehicle and they skip you.
But those aren't even like, to me, those aren't pre-shows. That to me, that's a part of the ride. Like,
well, they
the thing you see in the lobby at like Muppets Vision is the pre-show, right? Like,
yeah,
the experience of riding the train to where you get captured by the, and I'm sorry if you never rode Rise, these are all spoilers, sorry. The part where you're riding the train where, you know, you have Ray and BB-8 comes out, that to me, that's a part of the whole experience. Like, I would be pissed if I missed that.
Yeah, so apparently it's the whole Ray part and the part in the transport that you miss. You get the interrogation still, and you get the like them saving you part, but that's all you get if you pay for it, which in my opinion is not like any better. Like it's not better to me that you get to miss all that and go straight into interrogation like that. I wouldn't want to pay for that. And it's like, I think Rise is $15 per person. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm like, if I'm going to pay that much money for the ride, like the whole experience is part of the ride, right? Like, yeah, okay, skipping the standby queue for like Flight of Passage because you paid for the Genie, the Lightning Lane, great. I get it. I understand it. Because until my last trip where I had never done Flight of Passage on the standby line, so I had no clue that the standby line was even as detailed as it was. So, but I never, you know, and it was great to see it because it wasn't that long of a line, but I would happily skip that to go straight to the actual ride because that's the experience. But starting with Ray and BB-8, like that's literally where the ride starts. Like that's the experience. Like they have to add that back in.
Yeah. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess I would be kind of disappointed. I don't know. I'm more of like, so what the time that I mostly enjoy on Rise is when you walk off, when you walk into the Star Destroyer. From there on, I get like you'd be skipping like part of the scene to kind of like, so if you've never done it before, if you start from like the outside and then you pay for Genie and then you jump on right into the Star Destroyer part, if you had never done it before, you'd be like, wait a minute, like I felt like I just missed a section of the ride. But since I guess we've done it so many times, it wouldn't bother me as much because it's like, all right, I just want to get on the ride. You know, I don't have to see it again. I mean, when we did it back to back the one night, it was kind of like, all right, this part is like very repetitive. Let's just get on the ride already.
Yeah, and I do agree. I would maybe do it if like I didn't really care about like seeing it, like if I like, because I've been on it. But as someone who their first time when they've been on it, Ray was not a thing. The whole like little ride thing was not a thing. I literally went from the outside right into interrogation my first time I ever rode it because it had broken down and I had already waited 2 hours. But I was very upset that I missed that. So I I don't know. And I don't know if that's worth $15 then to skip that line. I might as well just like wait. That's just, I don't know. I'll have to,
you want to wait? Because we were there last Wednesday at 5:45 and it was still a 120-minute wait. And we went in there, we're like, did we miss the memo of why it's so busy in here? Like on a Wednesday night, or I'm sorry, not Wednesday, Tuesday. It was actually a week ago today. I'm like, it was so busy in there. It was insane. I'm just like, because I'm thinking when you, me, and Brittany did it for the 50th and we got to do it back to back, I'm like, I told Connor, I was hyping him up. I'm like, oh, we're going to go in there at like 8 o'clock. We're going to ride it back to back. It's going to be perfect. By 8 o'clock, it was still a 120-minute wait. I'm like, I don't know what was going on last week of why it was so busy in there, but we'll never.
It broke down. I heard it broke down last week a lot, but yeah, I don't know. I think we lucked out for the 50th because everyone was at Epcot and Magic Kingdom, and so no one was at Hollywood Studios. But ever since then, it's been a pretty long wait. I've seen like at least 100 minutes pretty consecutively. And I think it's going to stay like that because it is such a new ride and it's a lot better than most rides at Disney, in my opinion. But yeah, I would wait 120 minutes. I waited 3 hours to ride that ride.
You're crazy. No way. No way.
To be fair, and that's when I had a boarding group, mind you. I had a boarding group and I waited 3 hours.
I mean, there's so many better things you could do with your time than waiting 120 minutes for rides. I mean, even if we went over to the bar and got a drink, that's better than standing in one spot for 120 minutes. No.
I refuse. And I have the luxury. I feel like I take for granted. So for all of you first timers or people like this is like a once in a lifetime experience, you're just good. If you want to do the ride, you're going to have to stand on the line. But for people who go like at least every other year, I don't know. For me, I'm just like 60 minutes was the only reason I stood on the standby line for Flight of Passage because it was a 60-minute wait. And I was like, that is my absolute max. And that's only because Flight of Passage is my absolute favorite ride. Nothing else is worth me standing on line that long.
You don't even want to know how long I stood in line to ride Flight of Passage the first time.
No.
4 hours.
It's like standing on line for 4 hours to ride a ride that's like not even 5 minutes. I mean, rides, yeah, it's a little bit of a longer ride, but like most of the rides in the parks are like what 2 to 5 minutes long, if that. That's just like being no.
See, I think that's like you were saying. So there's people who come down and they've never got to experience it. Hey, Heartland. There's people that come down and, for the first time ever, never get to experience stuff. I mean, we go every 2 or 3 months. So, we've experienced these things. We've gotten lucky and have done rides back to back in one night, I couldn't justify standing 2, 3, 4 plus hours for 5-minute ride. I can't justify that. Now, when the newer rides come out, like if we try to go up for Guardians or Tron and things like that, but I mean even for Ratatouille. So when we went on premiere day for Ratatouille, Brittany and I waited maybe because we got the boarding group and everything. We waited maybe 10 minutes before we got on. So like we were quickly in and out. When Connor and I went back this past Thursday, so a week ago on Thursday, we had to wait a solid good half hour, even with a boarding group. The line was just insane.
That's how long I had to wait for Ratatouille too. I think mine was actually closer to 45 minutes.
Wow.
With a boarding group, I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, this is insane."
And to me, I mean, I won't say spoilers, but yeah, I wouldn't wait more than 30 minutes for Ratatouille. It just it's catered to kids, but it's not over and above. It's just not.
Yeah, it's nowhere near. I thought it was going to be a lot more like Rise of the Resistance with the trackless system, and it is not. And
I thought it was going to be like Mickey and Minnie's, and it kind of is, but then it's like even Mickey and Minnie's is more like engaging than Ratatouille was. That's just me. I mean, but I don't want to give away spoilers. But yeah, it's all right. Like even Connor was like, it was okay. I'm like, and that's who it's catered towards. So
yeah.
I guess like for me, it's just, I guess if you're a ride person, then it makes sense. And I am a ride person, but I'm also not. I don't have the patience to stand online. Like when we did Universal, we did the Harry Potter ride where the dragon breathes the fire for the first time. So we were like, oh, you gotta do it. So I'm like, okay. So we just had to get on the line, and I was just like, this line is long, like just long, and the queue is great. Like I love that they have like the queues and they make the queues interesting. But I'm like, I could be drinking a butter beer. And this was also like during COVID, right? So you couldn't have like food in the line. You couldn't be drinking in the line. So you're just standing there, like, trying not to like do too much on your phone because you don't know how long you're going to be on this line for real. And so you got to preserve your battery. And so you're just sitting there playing Candy Crush for like 2 hours. I'm like, I ain't come to Florida to stand in the heat and bake Candy Crush. Like, I could be eating food. I could be drinking cocktails. I will wander the park in circles before I stand on a line. Like, we have done that. We have gone to the park and not gotten on one ride that we planned to get on because all of the fast passes were booked and the standby lines were just too ridiculously long.
Yeah.
Heartland,
Heartland
Emma and Henry are gonna love Ratatouille, but I'm sure you guys will like it too. But you'll be like after you're done riding it, oh, okay, we don't have to do it again.
I do have to say, and I feel like this is a good warning for anyone. If you get remotely motion sick, you might not want to ride. Like it's bad. Like I get motion sick very easily normally, and normally rides don't bother me, but that ride bothered me. Like I felt sick, like physically sick after I got off Ratatouille. What?
Is it because of the
It's because of the screens and all the like turning.
Okay.
It's literally like Jean-Claire, I'm not even gonna kid you. Like when you come down for my birthday, if we do not get a boarding group like in the very beginning of the day, we're not going on it.
So it's basically a ride you can't do after a few cocktails.
No.
So the weird thing
is nothing but 3D screen. Like a lot of it is 3D screening rides, and then they're constantly like turning you like a teacup. And I'm like, I didn't want to ride the teacups.
I hate the teacups.
It was basically what everyone thought Mickey and Minnie's worst case scenario was gonna be is like Remy's Ratatouille.
So I had a weird experience too when we first rode it for the first time like that. I got sick from it. I don't know if it was just, again, watching the 3D, but yet the car was turning as well with the 3D. So it's kind of like, I'm like, and I had nothing to drink at this point because it was still early in the morning. And I'm just like, wow, like I got really, I didn't have that experience the second time with Connor, maybe because we were sitting in the back and not in the front. And then we were off to the side too. So we weren't right in the middle, but yeah, it was weird with the watching 3D, but yet your car was turning and everything as well.
Yeah. It made me sick, and I don't know. Like if I don't ride it in the beginning of the day, I probably won't ride it again. We also rode it in the middle of the day, so that may have been why. But I don't know. Like that was intense.
I never used to get motion sickness, but now like I don't know if it's old age or what, but now it's like. I definitely I am a lot more sensitive to rides than I used to be. Like, just kind of like, I still enjoy them, but then it's just like, no matter what I do, like physically. So if you're not opposed to over-the-counter medicine, a little bit of Dramamine about an hour before you ride things, and those little motion sickness essential oil drops that you get for cruises, works wonders in the park.
Mine is so bad that normally it doesn't bother me on rides. It only bothers me on like the teacups, which I don't like to ride anyway. So meh. And then sometimes it bothers me on Slinky Dog, and then on this ride it like really bothered me. So
Yeah.
I don't know what. Maybe I just will avoid them, but I don't know. I'm not.
It's why I can't ride like those like pop-up fairs, like the rides at those pop-up fairs. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, this is where I really do appreciate what the Disney parks are. Like I don't know if people really appreciate this. Like if you're not like really, I mean, thrill coasters aside, the aerodynamics and the G-forces of a ride and the way that they're built makes a huge difference in the comfort of the ride. And I think the Disney rides, like to me, Slinky Dog is probably the smoothest roller coaster I have ever been on. I have never felt like motion sickness. I never feel like I'm being tossed about. And like, for example, like I used to love the Hulk at Universal. Like that used to be my favorite ride. But I feel like now the Hulk is starting to show its age because I never remember it feeling like it was just like looping me everywhere. And like the last time I rode it, I was like, why do I feel like I'm being whipped around everywhere? Like when rides start getting like older and they just need to be a little tightened up. Like those little rickety rides, like those little pop-up fairs.
Yeah. Well, I was telling
They
Jeff
give you
before,
whiplash.
I can't even like go on a swing, like a regular playground swing. Like I will feel motion sickness from a regular playground swing. Like I can't even go on that. And that's been like that for like years. Heartland says Slinky Dog is a great intro to coasters for kiddos. I do agree with that. And if I ever have kids, I definitely will suck it up and go on Slinky Dog with them. But
no, you're supposed to start them on Rock and Roller first, then put them on Slinky Dog, like we did with Connor.
Well, if Rock and Roller is even
like,
still around,
put my kid on Rock and Coaster first. You probably never get her to come back to Hollywood Studios.
I've never been on Rock and Roller Coaster, so it's all good. Or Tower, so or the Incredible Hulk, and I probably never will.
So what are you to say?
Like Zoel's been dying to try Slinky Dog. Like the last time we were there, and the park was closing, so we didn't make it. But I'm like, you had a fit on the Barnstormer chick. Like, how are you going to do Slinky Dog? But I said,
well,
I'm gonna let her do it. But I think when we do it, it'll be like at night, and that'll be like the last thing we do because I feel like the first time she does it, she's going to throw a fit. She's going to scream. She's going to cry. She's going to hate me. She's not going to want to do anything else for the rest of the night. But then I think the second time she does it, she's going to love it.
All right. Well, let's get to some football here. So let's talk about some of the games this past week. So I'm going to just run through like kind of what the scores were and who played who. And we can talk about any ones in particular that you guys want to talk about. I have two that I really want to talk about that I think were really good games and surprising. But anything that you guys want to talk about is cool with me. So Thursday night football was the Eagles versus the Buccaneers. 22-28, Bucs win. Big shocker there.
I guess you weren't flying Eagles fly on Thursday night, were you? You're just,
No, I didn't watch the game actually, but they were doing pretty well up until like the very end. Like 22-28. I thought it was really going to be like maybe 0 to something. So I'm pretty proud of them. I think they did well. But then again, we had Zach Ertz, and it was his last game as an Eagle, and he scored I think 3 of the touchdowns or 2 touchdowns, something like that. So he's gone now. So we'll see how much that changes things. Sunday day football was the Dolphins versus the Jags, 20-23. Jags win it. Vikings versus the Panthers, 34-28. Vikings won that one. Chargers versus the Ravens. Chargers 6, Ravens 34. So the
Not
Ravens
to
won.
cut you off really quick, but Zach Ertz, that game, he was only 4 for 29, and he got 1 touchdown. He averaged 7.3 yards. Yeah, he didn't have a very well. I mean, not that like a great game, but yeah, he was only he only had 4 receptions and 29 yards and a touchdown.
Oh,
your best receiver was Devonta Smith. He was 2 for 31, 15. Yeah, that's the kid that you picked up that should have went to the Giants, by the way, not you guys. And Dallas messed us up with that. Yeah. So, but yeah.
Sorry. But I saw that he had two. I didn't watch.
Maybe it was another game.
I should have watched it. Yeah, but I can't watch any of the Thursday night football games because they're all on whatchamacallit. They're all on NFL Network, and I don't pay for the NFL Network.
What about Amazon? Do you have Prime? I think they show up on Prime too. No. Oh.
No. Chargers versus the Ravens. Chargers got 6. Ravens got 34. So Ravens won that one in a blowout. That was pretty obvious that was going to happen. Rams versus the Giants.
We can skip that. No, we don't have to talk about this score. Just go to the next one.
Giants 11. So the Rams won that one. Texans versus the Colts. Texans 3. Woo! Colts 31. My light just fell because I just kicked it over.
See, that's what you get for making fun of my Giants. Your lights fall over.
Well, I was actually making fun of the Colts because I hate the Colts because they have our old quarterback that hates the Eagles and effed us over. So, but we're not going to talk about that. Chiefs, Washington. Chiefs 31. Washington 13. So the Chiefs pulled that one out. That was actually kind of surprising. I'm not going to lie with how the Chiefs
that game was close for a long time. Washington was like sticking around with them. And I'm like, wait, is Washington going to pull off the upset here? I mean, I know the Chiefs aren't the team that they were like for the past 2 seasons. I don't know what their funk is. But
it's Patrick Mahomes. He's like throwing air balls. He's throwing above the receivers.
No, it's Patrick Mahomes' brother and his fiance that they're always on Twitter arguing with the fans and the referees. That's what it is. They need to keep their mouths shut and stop getting involved.
I agree. I completely agree. Packers versus Bears. Packers 24, Bears for 14. Bengals versus the Lions. Bengals 34, Lions 11. Cardinals versus the Browns. Cardinals 37, Browns 14. That was a really good game considering they were missing most of their offensive line, and that puts them still in the undefeated category. So the Cardinals are currently the only undefeated team in the NFL after week 6. Cowboys versus the Pats in overtime. That's what I said. I said you might want to stick around with the Cardinals. Cowboys.
You know what? I'm gonna jump ship over to Arizona this year too. Just can you send me some Cardinals jerseys my way? Yeah, I'll go Cardinals this year.
Cowboys versus the Pats in overtime. This was like probably the best game of the week. 35-29, Cowboys win it, which was very surprising, and it was in overtime. It was right down to the last minute there. Raiders versus the Broncos. Raiders 34, Broncos 24. Raiders win that one. And then Sunday night football was Seattle Seahawks versus the Steelers, 20-23. So Steelers pulled that one out, which I gotta say that shocked me as well. And it was in final overtime that they won that one.
But Seattle's missing Russell Wilson. So
yeah, no.
What? Yes. He has the finger.
Yeah, he had surgery.
Yeah.
I actually know that he has like surgery on his middle finger. It like broke. It was like broken.
Yeah, you got to see the picture of his one finger. It's like bending the other way. Like
it's like. But apparently,
I do not agree with Dave.
Still in the recovery time.
I think Patrick Mahomes can do a lot of wrong and has done a lot of wrong. So that's just my personal opinion. I know not a lot of people agree with me, but that's okay. And then finally, last night's game on Monday Night Football was the Bills versus the Titans. The Titans pulled it out 34-31. So are there any games that you guys personally want to talk about? Specifically?
So I'm actually really shocked with the Browns. The Browns were missing 2 of their tackles. The Browns were also missing Jarvis Landry. And Nick Chubb was out with an injury, and Kareem Hunt ended up leaving, I think, late in the 3rd with an injury. So really, all the pressure was put on Baker Mayfield to actually perform well in that game.
And he got hurt.
Yeah,
got a dislocated shoulder and kept playing.
Yeah, well, it wasn't his throwing arm, but yeah, he re-injured, I guess, his throwing arm. He landed hard on it. The replay of it, like it was underneath his arm the way he landed on it. I just don't understand why they can't get Odell involved in that offense at all. Like, Odell being an original Giant, I secretly cheer for the Browns. I want them to do well because I still don't think the Giants should have gotten rid of Odell. But I want the Browns to do well. And it's just he cannot get involved in that offense. I mean, there was I think a 4th and 4 play where he needed to catch it and they would have gotten the first down, and he literally just drops the ball. Like, it's in his hands and he drops it. So I don't know what's going on with him, and I really hope that they can like turn it around, or he can turn it around, because if he doesn't, Odell's going to be on another team. If not this year, definitely next year.
Yeah. I was not shocked that the Cardinals won. I was shocked at how close it was for like, I think the first 2 quarters, they were pretty close. Cardinals, I think, were actually losing after the first quarter. If I remember correctly, and that could not be right. Because I was watching the Cowboys and the Cardinals game at the exact same time. But I was like so shocked at the Browns and how injured they were and how they kept playing. And then the Cardinals too had no tight ends. They were missing some of their offensive players. And I was actually shocked that they were dominating the Browns as much as they were. And like, I'm kind of secretly rooting for the Cardinals, because that would be so cool if they went completely undefeated, which was no. This is why I really want it to happen, because Tom Brady came out at the very beginning of the season and said, I'm going to have an undefeated team. We're going to do what the Dolphins did X amount of years ago. And guess what, Tom? You're not undefeated. The Cardinals are undefeated. So if they could rub it in Tom Brady's face, it would make my day.
It must be so easy for you just to jump ship from one bird team to another bird team. It's so easy, isn't it?
Birds of a feather flock together.
Just flock together. I mean, the Cardinals were strong for years. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just hate that my honey is not playing. Like, Fitzgerald is like the only person my husband would probably give me a pass for.
Well, and then especially since now they have one of my favorite birds, which was Ertz. Now that they're gonna have him on their team, like, I'm ready for it. Like, let's go. Let's have a Cardinals Super Bowl here.
Every year there's that one team that you don't anticipate like having like a great year. So this year's the Cardinals. It was somebody else last year too. Then they end up getting the playoffs and they lose in like the first or second week. So it always happens. That's why I'm saying.
I really hope that's not the case, though. I really hope that's not the case.
I hope it's not either, because if they are that good, it's going to end up. It's going to end up coming down to them in Dallas. I think right now, unless somehow Green Bay or somebody else in the NFC can knock out Dallas. But if it comes down to Arizona and Dallas, I will be a diehard Cardinals fan that day. It's anybody who plays against Dallas, I'm cheering for that.
It's going to, because isn't it always the East versus the West?
No, I mean, it depends on how the standings, like how the teams are going to seed. Hold on.
Because we also have the wild cards in there. I forgot about them. But what about the Bucks? Currently, the Bucks are going to be in the playoffs.
So right now, the way the teams are in numerical order. Obviously, Cardinals are 1, Tampa's 2, Green Bay's 3, Dallas 4, and LA's 5. Then you have for the wild card, you have Saints, Vikings, and Bears are like in the hunt. So Saints and Vikings.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We still got a lot of football. It's only week 6. There are 18 weeks this year, so we got a lot left. And then another really good game that I wanted to kind of go over was the Cowboys versus the Patriots. Like, oh my gosh, like, I got to give it to the Cowboys. They played a good game. And I did not think the Cowboys were doing this well this season. that well this season. I was just kind of like, it's the Cowboys, whatever. Who cares? I hate them, whatever. But I gotta give it to the Cowboys. They played that game was a good game. Like I thought the Patriots were gonna blow them out of the water easy, and they were gonna be done. But no, they came out and won it, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Here's the thing: the Patriots aren't the team that they were 2 years ago. So after losing Brady, I mean, last year it was Cam Newton, and then he had a mediocre season, and then their defense was just not on point. They got some people in the offseason, but they're just not the team that they were ever since losing Tom. I mean, Mac Jones, this is his first year as a starting quarterback, and he's actually not playing that bad, but you got to give them at least like another year or two before they get to their prime again. But yeah, it was actually a really good game, and I was like a diehard Patriots fan the other night. I'm like, oh, they're gonna do it, and then Dallas got that wide open touchdown, and I like took my drink or whatever it was, and I like chucked it up against the wall, and I'm like, that's it, I'm done. Because if the Giants are having a bad year, then I want the Cowboys to have a bad year too. But no, I don't always get my wish. So
yeah, I was actually rooting for the Cowboys because no matter what, I'm going to always root against the Patriots, who are losers and cheaters and everything else. But
I want to hear you say that in front of your Philadelphia brotherhood or brethren or like fans that you would cheer for the Cowboys and see what they think, because they won't allow you in Philadelphia's home stadium. It's just they'll be like, you got to go. It's
not over the Patriots. Over the Patriots. No,
even though you can't cheer for a division rival. I could never cheer for a division. If it meant the Giants, like if the Giants had to get into the playoffs and I needed the Cowboys to win, that's why then I would cheer for the Cowboys. But no, I would never just, oh yeah, I want the Cowboys to win. Nope. Never.
Oh, Christina.
No.
I said that they're doing good this year. Like I'm not gonna lie, like the Cowboys have a good solid, from what I've seen in that last game, they have a good solid team to be in playoff contention and possibly go for a Super Bowl. Now, do I think they're going to get to the Super Bowl? No. But I think that they just have to pass too many better teams than them to get into the Super Bowl. But I do think the game they played last night, like I was telling Jeff earlier that I feel like the NFC East always has, like, it's like, well, who is the least worst of these four teams, and let's put them in the playoffs. And I feel like the Cowboys are actually earning their spot this year because they have a winning record. They have a similar winning record to most other teams right now, and they're doing pretty well. So that's just my forte. So I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. I'm not a sore loser. I'm gonna give credit to them, but I was also at Applebee's, and there was like this whole thing not Applebee's, Chili's during this game, like during the entire game I was at Chili's, and the man behind me was obnoxious and he was rooting for the Patriots. So the fact that the Patriots lost just made my day because he was mad and I was laughing at it.
So here's the Cowboys' next 5 games, and this is where I'm telling you an easy schedule. They're at Minnesota. That's a win. Easily.
The Cowboys?
At Minnesota. The Vikings. They don't have a good team. They're 2-3. They're terrible. That's a win. Versus the Broncos. Broncos look like they were playing really great. They were 3-3. I think they're 3-3 now. They were playing really good. I mean, they were playing against bad teams, so I'd say that's a win. Versus the Falcons, that's a win. So that's 3 games right there. Then they're at the Chiefs on 11-21. It depends on what kind of Chiefs team you're going to get. Are you going to get like the Patrick Mahomes of last season or this season? So if you get last season, that's a loss. But if you get this season, so that's like, to me, that's an interesting one to see where the Cowboys are at. Are they a playoff contender or not? That's a real interesting one. So
when's their bye?
The Cowboys this week coming up.
Oh.
And then the game after that, Raiders. So I will say 4-1 down that stretch. Losing to the Chiefs, but they'll beat the Vikings, Broncos, Falcons, and Raiders. And then their games after that, after the Raiders, they're at the Saints. That's a win. They're at Washington. That's a win. They're at, oh, wow, 3 road games. That's terrible. They're at the Giants, but those are 3 wins right there. Then they have the Cardinals. Then they have the Redskins, Cardinals, and Eagles. Those are, I mean, if Arizona's playing for the undefeated season, then they'll play their starters. If they're not,
I'm going to tell you they have a loss in there.
which team are they losing to? Oh, Eagles? Oh, no, they're going to wipe the floor with you guys. I think Dallas's backups would still beat Philadelphia's first-string team.
I don't know. It's really going to depend what happens with this new guy that's coming in, and if the Eagles can get their stuff together. But I say that
they ain't going to get their stuff together. Not this season. They're done. I can tell you right now, they are done. It's not happening.
Yeah, I think so.
They're just as done as much as the Giants are done.
But okay, so are there any other games from this week that you guys wanted to talk about before we move on to the next segment?
No.
It's just like I know nothing.
My drink is almost empty because I've been drinking while you guys have been talking football.
That's okay.
Why don't we get to?
You're here though.
Why don't we get to next week's games at least like wins and losses, or who do you think is going to win the big matchups next week?
So next week's game, Jeff, I know you said you have them. So we're just gonna say who we think is gonna win the games for next week, and then I was gonna do It's on. We've been out here for an hour. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Who won the Chiefs versus the Eagles? I don't think the Chiefs have played the Eagles.
Not this year. Yeah, they play them once every 4 years. I don't know.
But like recently,
oh no!
I don't think. They have.
Yeah, this season they do because we play the Chiefs. So yeah, we do. I don't know what your schedule is, but I don't know what your schedule is.
Oh wait, I think it's this week.
No, because Kansas City's at Tennessee this week.
Oh, I don't know.
But I don't know if you know your schedule either because you're going for Dallas. So it's so weird. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why it's so easy just to jump teams like that.
I'm definitely not. I'm just giving credit where credit is due for Dallas. So Jeff, you have the games for this week. So if you want to just list off, let's do Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night, and then like teams that
that's fine. So the teams that are on a bye this week: Buffalo, Dallas, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Los Angeles, and Jacksonville all have byes this week. The Thursday night game is don't even bother watching. It's Denver at Cleveland. I'd say Cleveland, just maybe Odell has a phenomenal game, so I don't know. I'll give it to Cleveland for that one.
Is that the Bears?
What?
Cleveland, Browns, or the Bears?
Browns.
Chicago.
Even I know that.
I don't know them by their cities. I know them by their team names.
Chicago, the Bears, Chicago.
And he was on reality.
Cleveland Browns. Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Browns for that one.
Okay.
Jean Claire, who are you going for?
I'm gonna go with Denver.
Okay.
I prefer Denver over Cleveland.
Denver's a much more nicer city than Cleveland. If you're from Cleveland, I'm just kidding. I've never been to either Denver or Cleveland, so.
My rationale for picking teams becomes so random.
like Brittany's, she's like, oh, who has the cute? Oh, the Bears are cuddly. I like the Bears. We'll go with the Bears. The Bears are 0-6.
Yes, Brittany.
Yes, like the cuddly Bears.
We need at least one other non-football person to balance this out.
Oh, and then Brittany, because when we first started dating, her family is so like anti-New York. So like every time I'd watch football with them, like even now to this day, my father-in-law, he's always like, "See, the Giants lost again. The New York teams are losing." Anyway, so the Sunday night game is another. Oh God, I don't even know why this is a Sunday night football game. Indianapolis at San Francisco.
I'm going with 49ers on that one.
I would go.
So I have
the
to go
same.
49ers because I like being married to my husband, and he's a huge 40. Like, that's his team. So I guess if I were to go against his team, like, that might be grounds for divorce.
I can never root for the Colts as long as they have Carson Wentz on their roster.
Isn't this sad though? So like next to it, it has tickets and like what the ticket prices are at. So I'll give you an example. So let's say Atlanta's at Miami this week, right? Tickets start at $23 for Atlanta and Miami because nobody wants to watch that. But Kansas
where are
City,
they playing? In Miami or in Atlanta?
Yeah. In Miami. No one's a Dolphins fan down here. No one is. When you're down here in South Florida, everyone's like, you see it on TV. You have the Dolphins, you have the Heat and everything. You'll see Cowboys, you'll see Steelers, you see New York, you see everything else but the Dolphins.
Wow. You guys are not loyal at all.
No.
Not where I live.
I'm loyal. I'm just not loyal to the Dolphins.
Yes, but like not where I live. Not where I live in like Orlando. All I see is Dolphins are Dolphins and the Jags are probably the furthest team. The closest team is the Bucs, and all I see is the Dolphins games constantly.
Well, I mean like around town Orlando. That's what I mean. Like around in Miami, no one supports Miami. Now, if Miami is 6-0, yes. You'll see Dolphins fans for days. You'll see the Dolphins flags waving. You'll see everything. And I'm like, oh, you guys are 6-0. But then if they went 6-6, they take down the flags. They like put all their Dolphin stuff in the closet. There's a lot of closet Dolphins fans down here. So anyway, Atlanta at Miami is $23. But if you want to go see Kansas City play Tennessee, tickets start at $114. It's crazy, the prices. Crazy. So like
when you're going to see the 49ers play Jacksonville, and I thought those tickets were ludicrous because I didn't even know who is Jacksonville's team.
That's the Jags.
Jaguars.
I didn't even know Jacksonville had a team. But my husband, like I said, is a 49ers fan, and so we were trying to find games on our side of the coast. And I think that was like the only game that we could find where they weren't playing like West Coast.
Yeah.
And it was like driving distance from where we live. So we're going in November to the Jacksonville game where they play the 49ers. But I'm like, yeah, I didn't even know they had a team. And those tickets for like $200. I'm like, that's a lot of money for like COVID tickets.
Usually what it is when they have the
thing down here, Sean Claire. What are you talking about?
When they have the
apparently
when they have the out of market teams come in. So like let's say the season ticket holders for the Jaguars, they know that there's going to be like, let's say it's going to be a 49ers home game. They'll gouge the prices and just bump them up because they know a lot of 49ers fans are going to be in there. It's the same thing before like Tom Brady was in Tampa. I went to 2 Giants Buccaneers games. I think we paid no more than at least $300 plus because you literally walked into Tampa Bay Stadium and it was a sea of blue.
Yeah, I can see that. Because like if you're a 49ers fan and you live on the East Coast and you don't want to have to fly to California or the West Coast or Midwest to see their games, then you're going to pretty much go wherever they are on the East Coast, and that's
I've never actually been to a professional football game in my life.
Oh my God, there's so much fun. We've got to do one.
I want to go so bad. I wanted to go to the Eagles one so bad, and finally, when I was like old enough to go on my own and like afford a ticket, COVID.
I will tell you, like, I don't know the players. I don't know like all of the stats and things like that. But I know enough of the game to really enjoy watching it, and watching a football game in person. It's like, do you guys remember that movie where Rob Schneider was like playing like the Bachelor and he was dating all of these like random like low budget chicks? What movie was that? and like he was dating like this girl. Like he went on a date with like this girl with Tourette's, and like so his thing was like he was making these girls like feel pretty.
Yeah,
like
Deuce
so,
Bigelow.
Deuce Bigelow, yes. And he took the girls with Tourette's to like a football game or something. So whenever she started like screaming and cursing, like it was just like part of like the game. That's like me. Like that's when I'm in my element because I can like let go. I don't have to worry about anything. Jonathan, be quiet. Bring it down.
So before you go to a NFL game, you should go experience a college football game. But like you got to go to like Florida or Florida State, or well, you don't want to come to Miami because we suck this year, or like UCF. UCF's right down the street from you. You want to go to UCF home game? Oh,
I'm not into college football though. Like
I feel like college football games is like a whole different animal from NFL football.
And I feel like I'm too old for college football. Like I didn't have a football team at my college. We had basketball, and I got plenty into basketball. That was fine.
That was like my school.
Brittany,
because I feel like with college football, you have people who have more ties to the team. Like NFL, like you're tied to like the city or the state where the team plays. But people who like went to certain schools, like it's great. Like I feel like the experience is completely different. And I feel like NFL is like the stepping stone to college, not college just like because if you go to an NFL game after a college football game, I feel like it's going to be a letdown.
What's more fun, an NFL game or a college football game?
College game.
It's the same thing with hockey.
Now, crazy party times, okay? Like, I may not know much about the game, but I sure know how to throw a great tailgate, okay?
And that's honestly sometimes what people do. People just tailgate the entire time. Like if you come down and go to a Hurricanes game, there's people tailgating from like sun up to sun down. That's all they're doing.
When I lived in Charlotte, we would just go uptown Charlotte and tailgate. Like, didn't even have game tickets. Like we'd just be out in one of the parking lots tailgating all day. And it would be a lot of people out there. You have your radio on, somebody have like their computer, like you can see the game, you can hear it, because if you're like close up to the Panthers stadium, you can hear the game, but you're out there chilling.
If we go to a Hurricanes game this year and like all the craziness is there, I'll have to do it on my Instagram stories. Like there's a guy that has like a DJ booth down there, and like you feel like you're in a nightclub, and like he's playing like throwback like 80s and 90s like hip hop and dance music, house music. And then we were walking through the crowd the one time, and it was Connor's, I think, first Hurricanes game, and we were walking through the crowd, and we came upon a group of young women doing stuff that I can't talk about on camera, but you guys could only imagine. And Connor's like standing there going like,
I think we also had your nephew.
Yeah. And like, I was just like, oh my God. Well, like we just walked into like a thing and we're like, all right, we got to get these kids out of here. Like this is way like past their age limit. Like, let's go. Come on. So
I believe, Jeff and I kind of shadowed their eyes.
Yeah, like I just went like this to Connor's eyes. I'm like, and then I'm trying to like get him through the crowd, and I'm much like
Connor like flapping your hand, like, move, I want to see.
He was young,
but yeah, that's my dream is to one day go to an Eagles game in Eagles Stadium. Obviously, it was like a lot more of an easier dream to get when I lived near there, but now I don't live near there, so that will be a bucket list. But
well, when the Eagles are good again, it won't be for like a decade from now, but when they are eventually good again, you'll have to go and see them in like Miami or something when it's like a Philadelphia home game.
Yeah. One day.
How is it a Philadelphia home game if they're playing in Miami?
Because same thing like when the Giants come down, when these out of market teams comes down, since the Dolphins aren't good this year again, and I don't know when they'll ever be good, if they'll ever be good ever again. A lot of these teams, since a lot of people that live down here are not Dolphins fans there, whoever they're from, because a lot of people
Oh,
migrate
I
from.
see.
Yeah.
See.
So like in Tampa, when I went to the Tampa game, it was a Giants home game, even though it wasn't really a Giants home game, but there was more Giants fans in the stadium than there was Tampa Bay fans. So when Tampa Bay came out, they were getting booed in their own stadium.
Yeah. Yeah. One day we'll see. Hopefully soon. I really want to go to at least a football game soon.
Well, you had your chance to go see them. Weren't they down in Tampa for the Thursday night game?
No, they were.
Oh, it was in Philly.
Yeah, it was in Philly. It was sad. If they were in Tampa, you best believe I would have bought tickets and drove my butt down there on a Thursday night and drove my butt back for school the next day. I would have hated.
I have done that plenty of times.
Would have done it. But and that's what my sister said too. She's like, "Oh, they're playing. Let's go!" And I was like, "Nicole, it's in Philadelphia."
Sometimes Fridays just need to be a worksheet day, okay?
I completely agree.
Like, look, kids, your teacher is.
Well, actually, we had a teacher
So
work
do this
day
worksheet
on Friday, so it would have
and be
worked
alright.
out better. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I want to give a sub to that. So, anyway, what are any other games?
And
What's the Monday night game?
Yeah, the Monday night game is New Orleans at Seattle. New Orleans, 100%. I'm not even giving Seattle unless they get Russell Wilson back. I don't think they are. But yeah, New Orleans. That's so the primetime games this week are just
I feel like a lot of games are just meh. They're not the greatest. They're not.
But
the
now
worst.
you jump to week 8. The Thursday night football game is Green Bay at Arizona. Who do you pick in that? Like, I mean, that's a blockbuster game. No.
Well, we're gonna find out next week.
Yeah,
on
well,
our
we'll
live
talk.
when we
I'll
talk
save it
about
for next week. But yeah, I won't pick Arizona for next week. But yeah.
Well, I can tell you now, I'm picking Arizona through the end of the season. So
Rodgers, discount double check. Rodgers.
It's the only jersey I own. So.
So currently, where we are in the standings for pro football, currently the leaders in the AFC East are the Bills. In the AFC West, we have the Chargers. Both are 4-2. Ravens are in the lead in the AFC North with a 5-1 record, and in the South, we have the Titans with also 4-2. The NFC seems to be doing a lot better. The NFC East have the Cowboys with a 5-win streak of 5-1. The West, Cardinals, only undefeated team, 6-0. North, Packers, 5-1. South, Bucks, 5-1 as well, with Cardinals being the best overall team in the NFL with a record of 6-0. 6 wins, no losses. And the worst team being the Lions with a record of 0-6. No wins, 6 losses.
I'd rather be the Lions at 0-6 than be the dumpster fire that the Giants season that's having. I'm dead serious. Like,
why? You at least won a game?
I thought we were going to lose it, and we pulled it out of our butt somehow. But I mean, it seriously is a dumpster fire. Like, I don't know what's going on with my team. I really don't. I haven't known what's going on with my team for the past 5 years. It's not. If you're a Giants fan, it's not a good time to be a Giants fan right now.
And the other thing I wanted to talk about before we leave real quick is there have been a lot of opinions on the brand new Disney shows, Harmonious and Enchantment. Have you guys seen either of them?
I have not, because I want to see them both in person. So I've been avoiding social media and YouTube videos for Ratatouille, Harmonious, and Enchantment, because I want to experience them for myself, because I watched videos before Rise, and I had I had kind of anticipated so much on Rise the first time I wrote it. Like, I was literally screaming, anticipating that drop. And my husband was like, what is wrong with you? Like, and it was just like, I'm like, no, I'm never doing that again. Like, I watched so many videos that I had built it up, and I was expecting so many things. And so it was really hard to be in the moment. So I decided, you know what? I want, whenever a new ride comes out, I'm avoiding all social media on it, all YouTube videos. I want to experience it for myself first. And I did that for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Like, I didn't watch one single video. I had no idea what the ride was going to be like, what the experience was going to be like. And I'm so glad I did, because it was really fun to see it and just experience it for the first time. So no clue.
Oh.
So if you're talking spoilers, I'm just gonna mute.
If you don't care about spoilers, over on our channel, we actually have a full presentation in 4K of Harmonious from start to finish. So if you're interested, you can check that out on our channel. As far as, oh my, we them boys, no. As far as the differences, without giving too much away, so Epcot's.
I haven't seen Enchantment yet. So.
Okay, so we saw Enchantment, and the rumors are true.
What are the rumors?
The rumors are that it's terrible.
It's terrible. The soundtrack is awful.
So is it like one of those things that you've seen it like where, kind of like Genie Plus, like where it's terrible because, like when Wishes went away and Happily Ever After came in and people were like, oh, I miss Wishes, like Happily Ever After is not the jam. And now, like, is it the same thing? So like Happily Ever After is like just kind of, no, it's just bad.
Brittany, come
it's
here.
just bad. So it's
you're
all
more of a
the
fireworks
new,
person.
Like, I haven't seen it, but it's all the new
I don't want to give away any spoilers.
Disney
So
movies.
it's kinda like,
So they have in both shows they have a heavy emphasis that they both start out with Moana, something with Moana, and then they go on, and then from what I've heard from Enchantment, I watched the ABC special on it, which that was trash. I don't know if it was the filming or the show in general, but that was just trash. Literally, they would zoom in on the castle to show you a projection, and by the time they zoomed in, the projection was gone. So it was like so dumb. Anyway,
but that's just an ABC. That's just that channel. Like,
I hope no one from ABC is watching this live stream right now. We're so sorry.
Sorry,
no, we're not.
You
are not doing your job properly. If you're ABC, there's no reason you should ever zoom in on something and miss it. Okay, I should zoom in on something and miss it because I am like an amateur with the camera and I know not what I'm doing. But if you are ABC and that is literally your job, like, no, we're not apologizing to them.
Yeah, but apparently it starts with like Moana, and then it goes into a lot of the newer movies. So it goes into like, I think it had one song from Frozen or something like that, and then it went into Luca and this
Luca
new
had songs.
What?
Luca had songs.
Yes, and it has a whole soundtrack.
So here's the projections are a lot of the newer movies, but they really so the projections weren't the bad part. It's the soundtrack. So they had three good songs, but some of the songs in the middle, it's not even like a Disney soundtrack song. It's like a generic. Somebody just like remixed the song on their like desktop and like they stuck it in the show, and it is awful. Like, it's not the same music. And so I'm sitting there going, like, I was even asking Brittany, I'm like, what song is this? Like, you can't even make it out of what song it's from. She's like,
but
you couldn't even find what movie the song was from. Yeah, that's a problem. That was like when I went to the Madonna concert and she like remade like half of the songs she did and did all this new crap, and you were sitting there like, what? Like,
and that's
here for this.
And we didn't want to hate the show because we knew everyone wasn't liking it. So we didn't want to go in, like, I went in with a very open, like, I wanted to love it. And then after watching it, I was just like, that's it. Like, I mean, the fireworks were good and everything. Like, it was just the soundtrack. So now Harmonious' soundtrack, if you want like goosebumps and chills and tears and emotions and everything, you got to watch it. I don't want to give it away, but you got to watch it. Like, it's such a, like, Brittany said it's the best. They took Happily Ever After and put it in Epcot.
So, okay, so if you're talking Harmonious then, so let's just move over to Epcot, right? You're talking Harmonious. Where is the best place to be to experience all that Harmonious
right in front
has
of the gift shop, right in the front.
That's
What
where
does that mean? Like, if you've never been to Epcot, what does the gift shop right in the front mean?
Like
so no,
right when you enter the World Showcase from the back.
yeah, when you go, from the back or from the front?
So from the
Or
back is
from the front, I mean,
Okay.
from the front.
Okay, so from the front is from the main entrance, or from the Skyliner entrance?
From
No,
the main entrance.
Okay, main entrance. You guys gotta tell the people, because I'm like, I go to Disney. I'm still like, wait, what side? Okay,
Brittany,
so
is-
Don't
come
worry,
to
when
the
we,
main
when
entrance
we go
and the
for
gift
my
shop.
birthday, we are going to sit in the prime because I'm abandoning.
No, but
Magic
I'm going
Kingdom.
before your birthday, because my mom's birthday is the 29th, and I told her for her birthday she could go, wherever she went. I knew she was going to pick Epcot because we can drink around the world, and my mom is like my buddy. Like, when you're young and your mom is like a mom, it's great. But when you're old and your mom is like your BFF, is like, and you go drinking around the world, like that's like the best mother-daughter relationship ever. So we're gonna do Epcot, and I've actually never seen a fireworks show in person.
You'll know
I
because
never
like
did.
everyone will be at that one spot. But even like Tim, when I watched it with Tim and Kaylee for the very first time, we went like a little bit towards Mexico, and that was fine as long as you can see the whole center ring. Because if you go on any of the sides, like if you go in Norway or if you go in France, like you're not gonna see the whole center projection, and the center projection is like
you're
what you
coming
need to see.
into the center, like coming down that center walkway before you split to go right or left.
So Brittany's saying that some people have said Japan is also another really good spot for
Because
it.
it's literally right on the other side.
It's literally
directly
right on.
across.
It's right. It's across from it. So I was thinking initially that either if you want a good spot, you want to go to the Americas in World Showcase, or you literally want to go right across from the Americas, right by that gift shop that Morgan was saying, is where we watched it as well.
Is that where the old mouse gear was? No, that's
not the big gift shop. It's like a smaller consignment shop.
Okay.
There's like two of them that are like
Galaxy
pretty much
gifts
the same.
or something. It's like
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. But there's more room near the gift shop. That's just why I went there. And like technically the opposite of that would be the America Pavilion. However, you have that big stage in the America Pavilion, which blocks all that.
And I guess that's why people say, Brittany was just saying people go to Japan.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. So now when we watch it again, eventually, I don't want to stay in the same spot. I want to go to Japan or somewhere else.
Go to a different spot so you can compare. Like
exactly. Yeah.
I have seen people that have watched it, like people's videos that have watched it from Norway and like France area and stuff. Because a lot of people, like for the other show, the big place to go was that like right before France, right before you get to France from the UK to France, and there's like that big open section by the bridge. Yeah. That is the worst spot you could go to because you cannot see anything that's in the center. You can only see the other side barges. And
if you don't know better, you probably go there because it's so open. And you assume because it's so open that you would get a good view from there. So that's good to know. Because that's what I was kind of thinking.
You get like a terrible view because you can't see any of the center. It's just you can only see the side of the big ring barge thing. And
what time does the show start?
What?
Depends on the
day. What time does the show start?
Depends on the day.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's on the app.
It's been starting
it's on
at
the
like
app.
9:15.
I think ours was like 9, right?
Or 9:15.
9:15, I think, when we saw it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of like if you want to get that prime center spot, about
7.
how long before 7?
7.
Yeah, 7.
We
We waited. We started probably waiting right around 7ish, 7:15, and it was already. Yeah. But I mean, it was also premiere night too. So.
Nope, 7. I went last weekend. 7.
7 to get a good spot. Okay.
We waited only a half hour.
That's the issue that I have because it's like that's 2 hours of just sitting in one spot to babysit your spot.
Yeah, and we.
That's fine if it's like just me, right? But like, how does that work with Connor? Like, do you guys get there and sit that early? Like, Zoelle would like lose her freaking mind if we
didn't have Connor that trip
and set up for 7 o'clock to watch a 15-minute show at 9, unless she like fell asleep.
Well,
If she was asleep in her stroller, then we would be good.
Usually what we would do is if we wait that long for fireworks, we'll get there and we'll make sure that we can get a spot like against like the guardrail or something, so that way you can at least lean your back up against it. But for that trip, we didn't have Connor, so it didn't really matter, like, you know, how long we waited.
So have you gotten there, Morgan, and gotten like close to the guardrail so that you're like right by the water, so nobody could like actually stand in front of you?
Yeah, so so when Tim and Katie and Kaylee, when we all went like in the premiere weekend, I think we went on the Sunday of the 50th, so the 3rd. We got right up against the guardrail in Mexico, and we got there we didn't get there at 7, we got there around 8:30, but the whole front part was blocked off, so people were like getting around the guardrail, and we ended up getting we weren't right up against the guardrail, we were pretty close, but once everyone stood up, we kind of filled in. And so then when I went back last week and the week before that, since it was just me, I didn't wait at 7, but I like would sneak up to the front and I would ask someone very nicely if I could sit there because it was just me, and they're like, "It's just you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just me." And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And I asked them how long they had been standing there. They had been sitting there since 7 o'clock.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
do people like take blankets and kind of like spread out blankets and like sit down?
Yeah. Yep.
There was 2 people that were having a full-on picnic, like when we came up, and I'm just kidding.
Well, that would make sense. That would make sense. Like if you're gonna get there at 7, like it's kind of like, okay, this is dinner time. Like.
Yeah, but as long as you're somewhere around there, like I feel like it's fine. I definitely wouldn't get there any later than 8 because after 8, all those spots are taken. Like you're getting like bad viewing at that point.
Yeah, for Enchantment, we were coming back from the Contemporary. We walked over because the monorail was down. We were walked over. It was a half hour before fireworks. I'm like, we're not getting a good spot. Luckily, we were able to squeeze ourselves into this one little area. I mean, we were packed like sardines in there. We literally only waited a half hour, and that we had Connor with us. But thank God we only waited the half hour because the show was terrible anyway. So it's like it wasn't like a huge waste of time for us. But
that's
the scary part for me. I'm like the whole kind of packed like sardines right now is just like.
But we didn't have that experience with Harmonious. We actually had because the where we were standing, it was sectioned off as like an aisleway, so there was nobody behind us. Okay. We only had some people in front of us because people had to walk behind us. So we had like a nice little spot.
Yeah.
So I think our plan then for my mom's birthday will be to do what we're gonna do in the park during the day, and then go and get like some really good takeout dinner and a few drinks, and then go and bring our blanket and spread it out and just park it on the lawn.
Really close to where we were standing is the Brazil booth for food and wine, and they have, what is it called, that cheese bread?
Oh, it's pan de queso.
Pan de queso.
Oh, so good.
Oh, it was amazing. It was so good. And then Brittany got a tequila drink, and it was like 95% tequila and like 5% juice. So it was like, yeah.
It was so gross.
Brittany takes her tequila, 95% tequila, 5% juice. I never would have guessed. I love you, Brittany.
No, I don't. I don't drink it.
No, Brittany used to be that way, but not anymore. She hasn't been
Brittany's
that way.
Stomach can't handle it.
Brittany now is 95% juice and 5% tequila. She's the total opposite.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see Enchantment. I'm seeing it this weekend, actually on Friday for the very first time. So
I'm curious to see her input.
Yeah, we want to hear your thoughts on it.
I was really excited for the Main Street projections, but from what I've heard, it's not great.
So where's the best place to see Enchantment from?
It doesn't matter.
Like,
I have no idea. I think it depends on what you want to look for. If you want to look at the castle and like the fireworks, then probably the same place it's always been. But if you want to see the Main Street projections, from what I've heard, unless you're looking straight at the side of Main Street, you're not going to see anything.
Honestly, the best place for
that's
Enchantment.
what I'm confused about. When you say the Main Street projections, for those of us who like have no idea what that means, what is that?
So it's like the projections
not
on the
castle?
castle, but
They're not
on
doing
the,
projections
on
on
the
the
shops
castle?
in Main Street.
Oh.
Like on the tops of them.
Honestly, the best place for enchantment is just go ride a ride. You don't even have to see the show. While all those people are watching a terrible show, you could be riding Space Mountain as a
Well,
walk.
that's what we used to do for Happily Ever After. Like, I never realized it was such a good show.
That's what I would always do. I would always go ride the rides because the lines are so short.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is kind of like what we'll be doing. We do have one more segment on the show, which we don't have for today, which is what kind of characters you would like to see us put up against each other or put on football teams, and what you guys think, like what kind of movies we should put against each other, and like we'll be drafting certain things like princesses and what role that we think they would play on a football team and how well we think they do, and sidekicks and movies and things like that. So a lot of fun stuff is coming with this live stream, so I hope you guys stick around for it. Like I said earlier, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. I'm so close to 400 subscribers. I want to get there before my birthday, so that I can announce the winner of a special giveaway I'll be doing. And I have special news coming later this week. Stay tuned to my IG for that. But yeah.
Morgan only needs 4 more subscribers. If you guys haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? 4 more. We can get this girl to 4 more subscribers. Let's go, guys. Come on.
Yeah. I'm so excited. But right before we close off, do you guys want to each say some things that are going on your channel? Jeff, go first.
Yes. Last week we were in Orlando for a week for a wedding. I did absolutely no editing. I'm so far behind. We have so much stuff. We have our September trip. We have to finish up our 50th anniversary trip. We have to do our cast member spotlight with our friends that were got married last week, Courtney and Dexter. We still have to do their video. So yeah, this Saturday I'm going to be doing what?
Enchantment.
Oh, Enchantment. We did film it. I should post it, but I don't know who's going to watch it because it's terrible. But yeah, I have to. I got to do so much editing. So yeah, we got a bunch of stuff coming up.
Awesome. And Ajana Claire, what do you have coming up on both of your channels?
So I have more Loungefly hauls. I literally I'm giving you guys a sneak peek of you see this big box right here? This is all bags that I still have to review. Yeah. Sorry if I just made half of you seasick. So I still have to review all those bags. So that's going to be on Being a John Claire. And on Joelle's World, we are gearing up for our 2-year YouTube anniversary party, which is going to be November 20th. And I have an amazing giveaway going on right now. So if you have not checked out that giveaway, definitely go to Joelle's World and check out the giveaway video. And I just learned tonight that we have access to the community tab. So I will be reposting the giveaway for those of you who can find it. And ignore that top shelf up there because that's why the camera is normally like this.
I don't know. I see that evil queen bag and I'm just eyeing it down. I'm like, oh man, we really need that bag.
So that was actually a birthday present. I got that for my birthday. So I tried to get that during FunCon and I had it in my cart. I went to check out and it was sold out from my cart. And I literally threw a fit. I went on eBay because I knew it was going to be on eBay immediately. And it was. And I found it for not a good price, but for the best price at the time. And then 2 weeks later, the eBay seller canceled my order. So I was really stressed out about it. And then for my birthday, what? She showed up.
Nice. Very cool. Very, very cool. Brittany actually got the Ahsoka bag from the New York Comic Con. She got that, and she's got the Darth Maul
Mine
bag.
came today.
But she didn't get the President Loki one. That's the one she wanted the most.
Oh.
And it sold out like that, like the Evil Queen nonsense.
Yeah,
it sold out.
yeah. I was surprised I actually got that one. I did. I actually got that one. And I have 100 bags at Morgan's house.
Yes, you do. Well, on my channel coming up, I've been kind of all over the place. I have a brand new personal shopping business that I am doing that is booming out of my ears with crazy 50th merchandise and all the merchandise that has been released. Oh my gosh. And with Christmas coming up, apparently they're releasing Christmas early soon. So like, please, if you have something you want from the parks, hit me up. It's down below. It's in the link. Please go there. I would greatly appreciate. We're almost 100 members in that group, which is crazy to me. And I on my channel, I have so much coming up. I have my 50th vlogs that are coming up, which feature our Paradise Falls, Tim and Katie from Tim and Katie, Connor from Carousel of Connor, Kaylee from Kaylee Hopkins. So many fun, and our Three Broke Mice, I think, is in there too somewhere. There's so many people, and featuring lots of 50th merch. I have a huge 50th merch haul that's coming up. I just had a huge small shop haul that I just did, so definitely go check that out. I think my next video, it's not going to be released tomorrow at this point, but I'm aiming for Thursday for the next video, and then hopefully I'll be able to get back on a schedule. I also have some fun Halloween swaps and things that are coming up, so I can't wait to share all of that with you. And I hope you guys tune in next week for fantasy Disney football. And like I said before, make sure you comment down below what characters you would like to see us pin against each other in football and draft onto some football teams. And as always, have a magical day, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys. See you next week.